everybody, my name is Max Farrow. This is DexFXMarkets.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the HIlt Box, a proprietary system that we created here on our DexFX and DexAtomic X system, as well as a strategy and process throughout the world. I have to tell you, the simplistic value of what this box is, what it really comes down to, is beautiful. Not just because I created it, but because I just like simplistic value, right? Now, if you want a real true breakdown of what the HIlt Box is and how it's developed on the actual DexAtomic charts, there is a link down below in the training here on DexFX Markets. And that leads to the training on how to set up your HIlt Box using what we refer to as a gain box in the system, right here. Which I already have favoritized on the system here. So if you're interested in learning what that part of the game box is and how that game box got transferred into the HIlt Box, that's fine. Now, if you're here on DexAtomic X, you've already gone through a lot of drawing your own HIlt Box out. If you haven't, if you just skipped all the DexAtomic training, you might want to go back and really have a look at it. HIlt is sort of an acronym. HLT is really the acronym. It's the high, low, and time. The I is just an individual, right? So what we have done, and I'm going to grab my my little rectangular box here. If you think about the market or time or what have you, there's several different principles of the market. Okay, the first one being the high of the market. How high did the market go? The second is how low did the market go? The third variable is time. What time are you looking between? Whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 20 days, it doesn't matter. In our segment of learning what the HIlt system is that we're looking over for a 1 hour trade. Okay, we're looking over a 4 hour period. Now, this 4 hour period has a definite high or low area. Here, if you can kind of see, this is the high. Now, I didn't say high how far the price has gone. I say high how far has the price gone in open and closed. That's what we really trained this to. We could have went all the way up here, but that would kind of throw our numbers around. These are usually just stop loss hunters or breakers of trades, right? But we're really concerned about the close and open. That's it. We can go all the way down here and kind of push our box at, push our values at. But because it ended up here, this is what we're really looking for, the high and the low. This being the low. Now, when this happens, we create a divisional box. And this divisional box creates deviations, as you can kind of see here. Now, if I span out just a little bit further, you'll be able to see, I'm going to squeeze this box down, there's even more from that time period. I've given us another deviation. And why is that? Well, because when we have validation on in the box, okay, when we have validation on here, some signals don't show up. Why? Because they're not within the validation period of what we refer to as the over-under strategy or the process, which really works with the 35-65 system. Now, if you don't have that check mark, there'll be times where you'll get a trade that'll show that may be a little bit higher or lower than the average trade. Most of the trades that happen within the validation system, oops, I'm going to undo that. Now let's see if I do that. Okay. On the regular validation system will happen in this upper quadrant here or lower quadrant here. If the box itself, the main box, if we pull up the rectangular box again, this one right here, this is the main HIlt system here. The rest of this is just wings or extra. You should have the mean, which is right in the middle, a quarter mean, one up and one down, the high and the low, in between these deviational marks. So if the price is between let's say deviation line 1 and 2 here, right? 1 and 0.75, and if the price is within that section, the high risk value is the point, if it's a buy, okay, is 0.75. The low risk value is 0.50 or 0.50. And the medium risk, as you can kind of see where the yellow line is smack dab in the middle. Now, when we have these values, it's important for you to know that stick with a buying plan. In the very beginning, we're going to be teaching you using the 1 hour trade system with a medium level, and what your market values you're going to buy is 35.65, and we'll explain that more later on when we're talking about statements and prices over on Nadex. But these values sometimes, if, let's just say, there it is. Okay. Now this one just sort of made it, right? So here's the low. Okay. So here is the low right here, or the high risk trade. Here's where the high risk is. So if I change and I go to high risk, you'll see it's changed to right there, right? This is why we made the wing. So there's this line right here where the high is. Okay. So this would be the medium, and this would be the low risk. If we didn't have this minus 25 trade, we couldn't do this one. That's if you're doing non-validational trades. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're building your trade box of what you want to trade. Do you want to trade non-validated trades? The answer might be yes. The answer might be no. But we've given you the opportunity to add that value in if need be. Okay, so that's all about the wings. The HIlt Box itself is very strong. You don't have to worry about putting it on and off, but it creates an unusual variable that you'll see later on when we're talking about alerts. It says that it's painted, and it is, because it's painted on and we take it off. And so it does have a repaint value. The arrows don't repaint. The price and the moving average and never repaint. This is the only thing that repaints because we take it off and we put it on with every new trade. That, if we didn't do that, you'd have 50 million HIlt boxes all around. All right. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an explanation. Always keep in mind that in the very beginning, you're going to be just blindly looking at the medium risk between a particular time. You're going to be looking at validated signals only. Okay. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you get into the proper way of trading. Okay. It's going to get you into, how do I go from here? Just pick a price, go, and you don't have to worry about looking left and looking at analyzation and all that kind of stuff at that point. But later on, you're going to be looking at trades that come up, and you're going to look a little left. You're going to get to learn a little bit more advanced to kind of filter out some of those trades that you have. Sometimes you may miss out on a winner. Sometimes, hopefully, most of the times you'll miss out on the losers, right? Because we'll know. All right. So I hope this finds you well. We will be talking a lot more about the different levels and risk to reward and all that kind of stuff as we get into it, and how to use this fancy replay system in here so you could do some training before you go trade demo. All right. I'm Max. This is Dex. We'll see you next time. And as always, trade well.